Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome life. I have some very good news. This is our update on the Earth transition, the new Earth, and we're doing it. We're getting there. Now, we have a breakaway point going on right now. We went through some really crazy stuff, a roller coaster. You've probably all been experiencing something on some level, whether you understand it or not. No two people have the exact same journey. So even though there are typical symptoms of the transition or there are things that go on that we are all going to participate on some level, it's how we perceive it, where our own personal frequency is, and what we do with that information that's going on out there that creates our own individual realities. So what I want to talk to you today about is, first of all, I want to explain what the Earth transition is for those of you who don't understand, and those of you who may think you do, and maybe my perception of it is a little bit different. Maybe we can sort of open up your mind a little bit. So as I have perceived the Earth transition, which nobody I think fully understands, I believe that the Earth transition is our third attempt on raising the frequency of the planet so that we don't have to go into a negative, let's say, destructive mode that's going to take down everything. Now, my opinion is that there are other entities of which we have always participated with from other planets that will not allow us to destroy this beautiful planet. They are allowing us our free will. There are all kinds of entities on this planet and beyond, from the lowest frequencies to the high. But I don't think we ever have anything to fear. We are always in control of our own reality. And if we open ourselves up to the negativity and the conspiracy theories and all the things going out there, then that is still our reality that we're choosing to participate in. When you stop looking at that and putting your focus on that, it is no longer a part of your reality, and you actually switch out of it into a different reality. Now I'm going to start doing advanced manifesting with you guys, and it's going to hopefully get you to switch over to a completely different way of thinking how this reality actually comes into the material world, how you're creating it, manifesting it, right? You're always in control every moment, so your reality could be completely different than somebody else's, and the world you live in could be a completely different one. In other words, there may be people that are on a planet that self-destructs, right? As much as it can without somebody intervening. And then there are others on a planet where there's total peace and abundance, a totally new way of life, free energy, no one ever starving, plenty of food, no destruction on the planet, no pharmaceuticals, no chemicals being sprayed, no food that is loaded with drugs and chemicals, nothing that's even presented to us that could be harmful, because no human on that planet, on that world, in that reality would ever do anything that could be destructive to somebody else in the name of profits. And that's the ego that is always looking out for itself, that's always looking to be satisfied, to get more, to gain in the material world, that thinks that there's lack. So they'll use power and money and all kinds of persuasive, let's say, manners, ways to go after what they need, platforms, presentations, promotions, persuasive whatever they have to use, lies, media. So when you get involved in that and you start to believe any part of that, it becomes your reality, and it is true. It will be true for you. So people will, they'll argue, well, this is the way this is. And I say, yes, you're right, it is for you. I'm presenting a new way of looking at things so that you will pull out of that, because you can. Turn off the media, turn off the garbage, shut down the commercials. It's all programming. It is all programming. Do you remember when they used to have subliminal slides within film? A hamburger would show up, and they actually outlawed that because it works. What do you think watching this negative stuff's doing? It's working. And there are other people who want it to work. And they don't care if you get cancer, if you have a horrible, let's say, relationship with your family, if you guys aren't working out, if you're, if you're putting yourself in debt to the detriment of doing good things for yourself and others, they don't care. So look at that. So they get you to think that that's good for you. We got to pull out of that. It's conditioning, it's programming, it has never worked, it's taken us down, it has been taking us down, but we are awakening, and I'm seeing it, and I'm hearing stories, and I'm feeling it. So I have a lot of information to share with you, all right? First of all, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey because I want you to understand that this may be happening to you. So I was in an awakened state many, many years ago, in various stages of that. You could be in an awakened state and still have thoughts and programming of being a human that you haven't completely pulled out of. There is a progression in awakening that can happen for most people. Most people don't just go from, ground zero to the light. Eckhart Tolle and others have done that, but they had to hit rock bottom to do that. He wanted to kill himself the night that he became awakened. He has also, since he's gone to that high awakened state, come down a bit from that. And he's talked about that. I too have experienced that. If you stay in the super awakened state, it's very difficult to function in the world. You can't relate to it. It's actually almost painful. You don't suffer, but there's some pain in being on this planet that is really difficult to watch what goes on here because you cannot relate to it. When you come down from that super awakened state, you're able to talk to people. You can relate to the world a little bit more, and the world can relate to you more too. What happened for me is, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you. I'm going to start sharing more. I'm an intuitive person. I always have been, even as a child. I have some psychic abilities. They come and go. You have all of this. Some of you have it on all the time. Others think that you might have it show up, but you don't believe it, and so you're not pursuing that. Everybody has this. Your intuition is always telling you what is right and wrong, but the world is telling you something different, so you're going along with that. We're done with that. It takes guts to step outside of the matrix and do what your intuition tells you to do. If there's a lifestyle you want to live that's different and not going to be approved by your parents or others, it's time to step into that space and do what's right for you. Is what you want to do not materialistically focused? Lisa Kay, she's going to awakened state. I said, congratulations. She said, for some reason, she's not caring about manifesting material things. Congratulations. That's called awakening. Because you realize none of that makes you happy, and when you release it, you actually become more abundant. The universe will take you to new jobs, new relationships and things because it's no longer a thought of yours that is lack. That is the new earth. That's the awakening. You will have physical symptoms. You will have experienced all the things that other people do. You don't bypass that. So a lot of you think you're not awakening because you're experiencing some challenges. What it allows you to do is handle the challenges different. Those don't ever go away. When you start to think of life differently as the challenges shouldn't be there, as the ego in control, when you go in awakened state, you see what they are and you correct whatever it is that needs to be corrected to help you go to the next level, or you see the value in it that's going to help you become a different person or help others in that challenge. You never see it as a problem. You see it as just part of your journey. And that it's all going to always be here and it's no longer an issue. That's an awakened state. An ego is always unhappy and struggling because it's constantly battling the things that it doesn't want. And that is not how life works. And as long as you do that, you will do it for the rest of your life. You will constantly struggle and be unhappy because whatever's happening in your life, you're not okay with. Point blank. I'm not okay with this. I don't want this to happen. And then you struggle, you're unhappy, and then you want something to make it go away and change instead of dealing with the issue and the problem. It's not a problem. It's an opportunity, and it's valuable. This is going into an awakened state. I'm seeing more of you doing that and saying, okay, I have this. I created it. I'm going to go into my advanced training that's going to blow your mind when you start to grasp it, of what power you wield. So the transformation is us coming out of that dense thinking of, really it's lack, selfishness, greed. Because we've been taught that's greed is good, right? Remember that movie, Wall Street? Greed is good. That was my world. I was an investment banker for 25 years. Greed is good. So I've experienced many premonitions. I've written them down. From simple things like the other day, somebody in a dream said, you need to go, and he showed me a battery. He says, go to the store and get a battery. And I said, this one? And he said, yes. The next day, my smoke alarm went out. I pulled out. I needed that battery. It's simple stuff. It doesn't always have meaning. You're just connected to everything, and you get information. I haven't personally predicted, I had a premonition that of the future of I actually had the date, the exact date, plane crash, how many people died, what the plane looked like. Ironically, I happened to have been flying that exact same day, and I saw it a year in advance. I was flipping out a little. The good news was my plane was not that color. And sure enough, that day, people crashed exactly the way I saw it, and 158 people died. I didn't even know this crash happened because it was in another country that was pretty remote, and somebody pointed it out to me. These are normal things that all of us have abilities to do. We have not claimed this. We have not claimed that everything's happening around us we've done. We're not taking responsibility because most of the stuff we don't like, so we don't want to admit that we would ever choose that because we think it's wrong. We don't see the value in it. When you switch your thinking and you go in an awakened state, you see all of that as exactly the way it was supposed to be, part of your opportunity to pull out, raise your frequency. And when you do that, the earth, everything around you is affected because we are one energy, will transform. And that's what's happening right now. Good news. Stuff's happening. People, the veils are coming down. You're manifesting quicker, sometimes with a thought. Oh, little birdie agrees. You are, there's a little bird sitting there tweeting. You're going to manifest much quicker. You're going to start to have intuition. You're going to see signs all the time. You're going to start getting manifesting like crazy. So be careful with that. Watch your thoughts. So my 3-second manifesting is, what am I thinking right now? What am I manifesting right now? Not what am I thinking. They're the same thing. What am I manifesting right now? You have a negative thought? That's what you're manifesting. You are creating your world. We are getting away from it. We're stepping outside and claiming this power and realizing we're doing it and we are affecting one another because we're on one energy. So when you raise your frequency, this planet raises its frequency and it's no longer struggling. It's no longer destructive because when you're in an awakened state, you stop doing things that are negative to others and yourself. You start taking care of the planet, your body, your thinking, everything. You start to take care of it better because you're conscious. And you realize that is you. The other is you. You stop judging because you're judging yourself. The other is you. I'm going to put a light on here. It's getting dark. It's a dark, cloudy, beautiful cloudy day here. So the earth transitions. What happens then? What happens when somebody else is in that deep, dark place, greedy, I call it the lottery mentality. I'll win the lottery first, then I'll give to others. Totally opposite way of thinking of an awakened person, right? That's okay. They're gonna, if that's where they are, neither good nor bad. So what happens to them if you're in a higher frequency? The earth splits. They will not be on the same planet as you. A lot of people are dying. Have you noticed that? A lot of people are exiting. And people will just go out of your life. Some people will not even be on planet Earth. They will actually be on another planet where third dimension, lower frequency people are all working out their own problems, and then they start all over again having to do whatever. How that happens, I don't have that answer. I don't know if these people will actually disappear or if a version of them will stay on the planet with us. I doubt that, because if they're in a lower frequency, you know, I don't know how another version could be here. But I don't, like I said, have that answer. I will tell you one thing for sure. You will be on a planet that becomes more abundant, happier, giving, caring, giving, giving. There's no lack when everybody's giving. Because if everybody's giving, everybody's receiving. Right? It will be a planet of joy. You're going to feel it. Are you feeling it now? We've gone into fourth dimension. I'm feeling it. There's no fear there. None. So this channel's all about breakthrough fear. Breakthrough fear is when it's there, but you don't do anything with it, because as a human being, you will still probably experience some feelings till the day you die. There will still be pain, sadness, fear, maybe even anger, but you just don't react to it anymore, because as humans, we are in dense bodies until we transcend. You'll find that more and more we are doing out-of-body experiences, connecting to our higher self. Somebody said that they were coming into out of a dream and they heard themselves talking about certain things. That's your higher self. Congratulations. I've experienced that. I've experienced standing in another room with light beings, having a conversation about what I was going to do. What's the next thing I was going to do? And I caught myself and I heard the conversation, and then I popped back in my body. You're going to start experiencing that. That is not weird. It is perfectly safe. You are safe at all times, because if you're on a higher frequency, you're hanging out with higher frequencies. And the lower ones, they're in the same room, but they're not going to bother you anymore, right? Because you don't have fear. When you go higher, you actually don't even have fear anymore. It doesn't even exist. It doesn't show up because there's no belief that triggers the feeling, which is fear. Fear is just a byproduct of a belief. When you change your beliefs and you don't even go in that space, there's no fear to get triggered, because there's no negative feelings. That is the new earth, and that is the space you can go into. Are you feeling that? Somebody wrote me, and I'll answer this question. I did send an email. I'm losing my husband. My relationship is going down the crapper, basically. What do I do? What mantra, or how can I use law of attraction? I said, lady, you already did. That's why you guys are splitting up. So we want things to go away. We're afraid to work through and say, you know what, I got myself here. Or maybe there's something you can't do. Maybe you've been a wonderful person this whole time and that spouse is going through something. Let it go. Do your best and then let it go. Sit down. I love you. How can we work this out? Will you work with me? Will you give me a chance to go into counseling with you to find out how I can be a better person and how we can work together? And if it's just that I don't suit you anymore, I'll accept that. But as long as I have an answer from you that we can do our best to make this work, that's all you can do. That's the working out. Not calling up Landria going, help! I get this, important, urgent. I thought, oh yeah, they waited. They waited. They did everything by the ego, right? They wait till things tank. Then they want me to fix it. That's what's going on, and that's the ego. Fix it. Give me a mantra. How can I use law of attraction? Well, we're going to do advanced training, and advanced training is going to show you there's no such thing. Somebody said, it's the same thing. No, it really isn't. There's nothing you have to attract. That's why I don't like the term. Law of attraction in a concept absolutely is quantum physics. But there's nothing you have to attract. You're doing everything. There's nothing outside of you that you have to bring into you. You're either on that frequency or you're not. So everything's coming from here, not out there, that you have to bring in. And there's that second step that everybody thinks they have to bring in. That's the third dimension. If you're there, it's time to pull out. It's time to change. It's time to join us. It's not too late. We're going to do it this time. We're going to do it. And it's not easy, because if you're on a higher frequency, it's still difficult to see what's still happening. You will still see things happening. But as we pull further and further and further, and it is going to happen in your lifetime. It's happening in your lifetime. This is good. We'll start to go into a golden age where then things will be accepted. We're going to stop looking to governments, because if they are not taking care of us, why would we look to them? Why would we continue to look to them for answers? Full disclosure? Give me a break. You don't need full disclosure. We already know what's going on. Why are we waiting for a corrupt governments to disclose what? It should have never been disclosed, undisclosed in the first place. That's not your frequency. We're going to create our own. We're going to create our own communities and create our own loving, giving schools and I don't even want to say charities. Unified groups that are going to help others and help them to help themselves to change their own realities. Because they can. When they're ready, they're still learning things too. They still chose to experience certain things. So I've experienced quite a few astounding things that are pretty mind-blowing. I do see energies. I don't see full-blown apparitions. I have never witnessed aliens. I have past lives on other planets, though, that are in detail, right down to, I can tell you my full life story there. I know that I came here for a specific person, and one of my masters appeared to me in my dream that had a little talk with me about that and asked me why I came down here to be with us. Us. You. Came down here, and I realized I made a choice to come here, and it was time to get to work. And I've had an awesome life, and I'm going to have a lot more fun too. But I came here to do my job, and that's to help other people awaken. Right? And I still have my own journey to go on. We all do. Being human has its challenges. Are you on that path of the new earth? Do you feel like you are? Don't worry, doesn't mean you're floating around on a cloud with little wings. It means that you feel a shift. You feel that your focus is not on the material world. It's on being joyful. It's about doing beautiful things for others and for yourself. It's about giving up the negative thoughts. They're just stories you tell yourself. Give it up. It's about stop going to counselors if it's not working for you, so you can sit and talk about the same problems you have. It's about creating the new reality and saying, that was then, this is now. I'm going to live a beautiful life. Why? I'm going to take all that stuff that happened, I'm going to use it for something amazing. And I'm going to show other people they can do it too. And I'm going to be there for them. Why? Because they are me. They're another aspect of me experiencing being human. And they're on a pathway to awaken to exactly what they are. Do you know what you are? You are power beyond your imagination, beyond your comprehension as a human being. Use it wisely. Quit looking outside of yourself. You have every answer. Start listening to this heart. How do you feel? And stop listening to the thinking based on what others have told you. What do I call it? The big why. The big why is, why am I believing this? Why am I thinking this? Because the big one is the centuries of programming. That's the big why of the humanity that told you you should work and live and think a certain way. And they've all been programmed, and they've been programmed, and they've been programmed. They don't know. They're coming out of their own density. Why would you listen to that? You know better. Your why is different from the big why. And you're going to have to be strong, and you're going to have to step out of that negativity. You're going to have to stop watching the negativity and eating the negativity and believing it and hanging out with it. You be your best. Don't be an enabler. Don't tell people what they need to do. Show them what they can do. And then they get to choose, even if that means they do the worst possible things to themselves. They'll get there. But what are you choosing? Let's go in that fourth and fifth dimension. We're on it. We're on it. We're saving this planet. It's happening. I feel it. So go with me. It is going to be an amazing journey. Things in your life are going to happen. Miracles. The things that bother you right now, they're not going to be a problem. And then they'll dissolve. And that new job will show up. That new love will show up. Somebody just wrote me and said, I'm so sad he lost his wife just a few months ago. Honey, allow yourself to feel that pain, but you don't have to suffer. There's a reason you're on your own. You're going to go pursue some things you wouldn't have in that relationship. And she's still with you. Nothing ever dies. That's quantum physics. That's science. That's the physical laws. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. She always was, she always will be. She's with you. In fact, she's more powerful on the other side. But you still have work here to do. What is it? Learn to be okay with yourself. That's going to be a big one. All of you need to do that if you want to truly find out who you are. It's always easy to have that other person making you feel good, right? If you truly want to explore it, can you be happy on your own? Of course you can. It's a beautiful place to be. And then the right person will come to you. Why? Because you're going to be so amazingly beautiful and fun and confident and joyful, not looking for anybody to save you. What about your job? Have you guys seen my landriaonka.net site? I'll put in every one of the descriptions, there's a link to my site. I gave up a 25-year investment banking career and got myself trained in internet marketing. I learned how to use the internet. That's why I'm here right now. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be sitting here. It's not a coincidence that I delved into it. And it wasn't easy. I had to learn a lot of stuff that was very foreign to me. And I got through it. And I changed my life. These things aren't going to be easy. You want to change your job, you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. Relationships that aren't healthy for you, you're going to have to go through some stuff. Maybe a little bit of heartache. But if that's the right move, if that's what it takes for you to change your life, you got to do it. Are you stuck with somebody in a situation and you don't know how to take care of yourself, you don't have enough money to get out? Then you better start making that money and getting out. You got to take that action. You've got to do it. It's part of the journey. You're going to discover amazing things about yourself. There's no work involved. That's a journey. We use the word work. I get up in the morning and I was thinking I have the best job in the world. I get to create meditation videos and create e-courses and book signings. You can do anything you want. You can join me on my Facebook page, landriaonka.net. You want to go get some training? Learn how to do an online business out of your house. Doesn't cost a fortune. Invest in yourself. Go to landriaonka.net and sign up. Free videos, you can find out about it. Do you want to get a better job? Why don't you start going after it, putting your resumes out? Find out what it takes for you to get that better job. Relationships, do you want a better body? Start taking care of that body by not eating the junk. Get it out of the house. Don't eat the things that are polluting your mind and keeping you on a lower frequency. That's another thing that's happening, you know. It keeps you on a lower frequency. All of these things do. That's not a coincidence. And other people make money doing that, keeping you there and keeping you addicted. Get out of it. Pull out of it. It's time if you want to go to the fourth dimension. Or you get to choose. The earth will split. It's already happening. You can choose to go to the higher frequency and live a life on a planet that's beautiful, abundant. You're never going to get sick. You're going to experience being human, and it is beautiful. You'll cry, not because you're sad, but because things just touch you. And you get to feel emotions, unlike the other side. We don't get to feel it over there like we do here. We don't get to go to these dark, deep, dark places that we've experienced. We don't have to go there anymore. We can cry because the sunrise is so beautiful, or the sunset, or that a little puppy is adorable, or that music is so beautiful it moves you to tears. These are all good things. Enjoy this life. Don't be sad that you're here. Don't battle it anymore. And then you can go to that fourth dimension. It is always your choice. All your feelings are a choice. No one makes you feel anything that you don't want to. Start making choices. You are in control. You wield that power. You wield that power. So join me in a new earth. Congratulations. If you're watching this video, you're on your way. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. That's from the Master Key System. It changed people's lives. A word can change a life if you believe it. Namaste.